Get to hear about your team, the Gators.
Good Lord, man.
Their schedule easy.
No. When I say Florida Gators, what does most people think about? Do you think about
Spurrier?
You think about old Rivas, 1971 class. Think about Grossman, Werfel, Tim Tebow, Steve Spurrier, player and coach, won a Heisman there, 1966.
Meyer, think about Meyer.
And, of course, Urban, what a fantastic job he done. We just rewatched one of the 96 Tennessee-Florida game before we come on. We was down here shooting the breeze in Studio 1B.
Yeah.
And down here in the basement of New York City.
Well, we got our field reporters out getting all this information.
Yeah. And again, we're live here in New York City in the basement of one of the buildings up here.
Empire State.
We think winners. They were winners. 96, 06, and 08.
Yeah.
Definitely had great runs. Last year they go 6-6. They lost to Oregon State 30-3 in their bowl game.
They didn't have a lot of players opt out, though, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now they bring back 6 on offense. They bring back 5 on defense.
That's not a lot of starters to return.
2022, they were 77th in passing yards per game and 99th in rushing last year. So they're right at the bottom third part of all, statistically speaking. Jack Miller, QB, he threw for 180 yards last year, looking to be the guy coming in. Ricky Purcell, he is a dude. Wide receiver, put a star by his name.
He's good.
And when asked by Allie Peak, she does a podcast review for Florida.
Mm-hmm.
You can find her over on Twitter. She says she has people on the field, and they talk to the players that Purcell kind of said off the cuff that because the battle between him and the other guy, the quarterback, they feel like Graham Mertz, he's kind of going to be the guy. Seems like there may be a little more rhythm for him.
Mertz, yes.
Than the other guy. He likes the other guy, and he says he's known him for a long time, and he throws a good ball.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of feel like that. FPI has them going 6-6 on the season.
And they're usually right.
They are. Now, on September, they're going to open up that weekend. They're going to be at Utah. Then the 16th, they're going to play Tennessee. The 30th at Kentucky. The 28th Halloween weekend, of course, they'll play Georgia. November 11th at LSU. November 25th, they'll play the game. These are just key games. We're fixing to look at the full schedule. They'll play, of course, their rival, Florida State. Now, week 3, they're going to host Tennessee. This is a pivot game. Hosting Tennessee that week 3rd, they should be hitting some kind of rhythm to see if Coach Napier and the recruiting that they've done. And I'm going to talk about that because when it started out, right at the end of the year last year, they got on the recruiting trail. People were kind of hassling a little bit. So offense is not good enough to play with Tennessee. So in predicting games, I just don't think they'll be able to beat Tennessee. Now,
I wouldn't. Not right now.
I
wouldn't think so.
At a Kentucky, we'll go over here and let's pull this up on here. At Kentucky,
big game.
Yes, Florida. They could win this game maybe, but what we just talked about, Leary being there and Coach Cohen being back, it was this big, fat, beautiful Super Bowl ring. I don't know.
What's your profanity?
Oh, sorry. I don't know if that would be a problem.
Cussing.
Yeah, no, can't cuss on here. You can't say Super Bowl. Oh, I said it again.
We're banned. Censored.
So does Florida have a chance to beat this? Can they, with Cohen and them? It's at Kentucky.
Yes.
This is a big game for them, man.
But they've got Kentucky. They beat them 30 times out of the last 33 years.
It's a big game.
I definitely think they can beat Kentucky and South Carolina.
They'll be ready by week 5. This will be a week 5 game for them that you're looking at here on the schedule. Podcast listeners, at South Carolina 2 weeks later. We're looking at it on here down there October the 14th at South Carolina. This is a mid-level defensive team, South Carolina. They're not going to be breaking the molds, but we talked about their new coordinator. Can he get Rattler in a move? Coach Loggins, he's a new offensive coach.
Mm-hmm.
Can they keep them under 40? Can they keep South Carolina under 40 points?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see. But now I've said that South Carolina, the Gamecocks they're probably going to win this game. So now we're looking at like 3-5. Now on the 4th of November, let's roll down here.
But
4th of November, I ain't gonna say because that we know who they play Halloween weekend. They're not beating Georgia. I'm not even gonna talk about it. There's no need to even bring it up.
Then they play LSU.
Then they got Arkansas. Then they're gonna be LSU. So we'll get to Arkansas right here. They're gonna host the Hogs.
I think they can win that.
Now, they are both these teams are going to be a run happy team with decent defenses.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's going to be kind of an even game. I think the nod may be able to go to the quarterback play of Jefferson.
Right.
I'm just guessing. So now they're going to put them after a loss to Arkansas at 3-6. All right, then we're going to roll back up there. We'll talk about the game. LSU, they travel to the Bayou. By week 10, I would say that Jay Daniels is probably going to be in the Heisman talk, wouldn't you think?
I'm hoping so. Well, no, actually, I'm not hoping so as an Alabama fan. But other than that, I hope he does well.
By that time of the year, you see this late in the year,
mm-hmm.
They're going to be fired up.
Yeah, he had a good year last year, and I expect them to
they're going to be ready.
Improve.
I think LSU beats them by 20. That puts them at 3-7. And then on the 18th, they're at Missouri, the team you just talked about, which has their own stable of wide receivers that we just talked about, and gunslingers throwing the ball. Any of those could be good guys. This is a swing game. Florida gets lucky. They wind up being 4-7. That's what we picked a while ago.
Right.
Kentucky or one of those games. I picked Missouri to probably not win that game because it is.
We picked it possibly win it. Well, I think we had them upsetting Missouri, upsetting people just to go 6-6, having to pull 2 upsets.
It's at Missouri. I think we kind of favored Missouri.
That'll be a tough game, but I think Florida's
they get lucky.
Going to be win that one.
Maybe they just got better players.
Yeah, I think that's what it's going to come down to.
4-7. And then the 25th, you see who they're going to play. The number 3 ranked at this time back then. They'll probably be ranked up there.
Oh, yeah.
What we're assuming they'll be there. At preseason, they're going to be – Florida State's going to be good. So they're going to play them.
Top 7 at least.
Gosh, man.
So you got that's a tough – that may be a tougher schedule than what we just saw.
4-8, 5-7 at the best. If they can beat South Carolina or Kentucky, maybe they could go 6-6 now. We'll talk about this for a second, and we'll look deep in the schedule. The 14th recruiting early, like we talked about earlier, after the season got over, they were 14th. Now that they lost the Simmons kid to Ole Miss, he wanted to go play down there with Coach Kiffin, but they got Jackson, the number 16 athlete in the country, and a defensive lineman, Amaris Williams, and Niger Johnson, and big star that just come in this week, actually just a few days ago, I seen on Twitter, TJ Abrams, a 4-star wide receiver graduating. He's in high school now. He's fixing to start his senior year. He will be there on scene next year for the Gators. And then linebacker Arian Childs. Coach Bateman, the linebacker coach, has been out killing it on the recruiting scene for the Gators. This Borrera kid, another defensive lineman from somewhere at Fort Myers, 6'7", 6'5", 370 pounds.
Wow.
A defensive end that runs like a
6'5", 370.
Yeah, and he runs about a 5'1".
That'd be like the Predator being out there coming after you.
Imagine refrigerator William Perry
being fast,
running a 5'2".
No, there's no way he ran a 5'2".
But if he did, that's what you got here. This guy's he's a cheat code, man. He's like Harry Potter, just putting curses on people.
I wouldn't have thought William Perry ran a 5'2".
No, it's like Castle Grayskull. He has the power of He-Man, and he can.
That's absolutely that's ridiculous. That's amazing.
Now, number 10 nationally in recruiting now. They're 12th by 24/7, and they're 13th from On 3 Sports. You can go there and find On 3 and 24/7 on your local Twitter pages and talk about them. A lot of 3- and 4-star guys from the state of Florida. That's important.
Very, because that's where the best players come
Billy
from.
the Kid, coach, that means he is recruiting his area.
But I will say, yes, big time. I will say this. I don't think we're going to see a lot of signs of how good he's done yet.
No, because these guys we're talking about, they're next year's guys. A 4-star, Kelly Collins, Gardendale. He signed last summer in June, 6'5", 278. Kids from Gardendale.
We were talking about earlier, I'd love to see Florida get back pretty good. Well, but I'm looking at that schedule, Matt, and you got them what? You predicted 5-7.
Guys,
Show me the top of it again.
we'll have to.
Show me the top. I don't think they did beat Utah last year. I do not think it'll happen again.
Let's pull up our beautiful highlighters here.
They're going to beat McNeese, Charlotte. They may upset Kentucky, beat Vanderbilt, maybe, and South Carolina. I don't know. They could. I'm thinking 6-6.
Okay.
At best.
We're going to highlight wins. Okay, we'll say they. Well, crap.
I got it.
We're going to say they beat Utah. Okay.
You going to think they're going to beat Utah? I don't think they'll beat Utah.
I don't know if that's the same team, even with Rising.
Not again. I wouldn't think. Utah's loaded.
Okay.
But I mean,
we'll say they beat McNeese for sure. They beat Charlotte 49ers. Gosh darn. It's at Gainesville. I'll give them a win at Gainesville over Vanderbilt.
I'm going to pick them to beat Kentucky, but you don't have to.
No,
okay, they beat Kentucky or South Carolina one, did they not? You think possibly? One of them. I'm not saying both of them.
I don't know, man. I'll say they'll. I'm sorry.
Say they'll beat South Carolina.
Yeah, that'd be a win. So, gosh, that's tough, man. I just don't see them. Cohen, these guys, they got me fired up. Kentucky's got me believing after reading all that stuff today.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll say they beat South Carolina.
Did they beat Arkansas at home? That's still just going to be 6. Arkansas beat Missouri, maybe. I don't know, man. I've got them 5-7.
That's a maybe. We could mark a squiggly line through that one. Gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe they're going to have to do something stupid and hope that they can. Ain't no way they beat Kentucky and Tennessee. It's just not happening. And we don't even know if they're going to beat South Carolina.
That's 6-6. That's 6-6 with upsets.
Ain't no way. They're going. I had them winning 5. That's what I had.
I've got 5.
FPI had them winning 6.
I
don't know where this Missouri. That'll be the toss up. The team that we just covered. So, the game is at Missouri though.
Yeah, which is home court
in favor.
Not home court, home field.
But it does help.
Helps in football for sure. Well, basketball too.
Because you don't want to play at the Swamp. Everybody knows it's crazy. It's loud down there. The way the end of the stadium's built down there, that wall, it's crazy.
So let's just that's why I picked them to beat Arkansas. They got them at home, and see,
you gonna go to the Bayou? It's at LSU. I'll bet that game's gonna be
why is all their dang games away? Look, go up for a minute. Look, South Carolina's at South Carolina. Kentucky's at Kentucky. Oh, man, that's a brutal. That may be worse than Missouri's schedule.
Let's see. They are.
Can they beat Tennessee?
Okay, here's their away games. They're at Utah, at Kentucky, at South Carolina, at the Bayou.
I don't think they're going to beat Florida State. Can they upset their rival?
No.
Okay. Matt, they could go 4-8.
You got 4 tough road games. It's going to tell a lot how the old Traveling Billies is going to be first game.
They can go 4-8.
Are they just going to be the laughing stock of the SEC? Are they going to be the worst? Title of this video is Best and Worst. Missouri. Is Missouri going to have a better record than Florida?
I think they may be even. I don't know. They could. One game.
Yeah. And both of those, like we picked to be the Kentucky.
Florida may go 6-6. I don't think. I've got Florida and Missouri going.
Missouri's flipping game is Kentucky.
Under 500.
Right.
Yeah.
Missouri, that game we think maybe. And then we got this one right here, guys looking home. Podcast listeners, we got squiggly line right through Missouri. That's their
It's there,
Is this?
Well, whoever wins that may get bowl eligible. But, I mean, look at their Florida State and Utah. It's their 2 out of conference games. I mean, both of them going to be ranked in the top 15. I'm going with 5-7. 6-6 at absolute best.
the only way they're going to get 6. They're going to have to do something crazy like who?
Guys, we've got a lot of teams in the conference not having great records, but
I'm trying.
I don't know how they can.
Okay. Let me throw it out here. I'm just saying that. Tennessee, TriStar, if you're watching on Twitter, I appreciate you. Third game of the year. It's at Florida. Now, they've already had McNeese, and they had their fun little time. Now, the big dogs, a rival for the ages, the Vols and the Gators that evolved back from Peyton Manning and Danny Warfel, showing out on each other right here. Does this by any way, is there a possibility that this game right here, being at Gainesville, is this the game that gets them bowl eligible?
I think it's a faint possibility. I give it a 25% chance of happening. I'm not going to say no chance, but I see what you're saying. Are they going to pull that upset early in the season against Tennessee before Tennessee really gets to? And we'll talk about Tennessee later in the summer. But
can that game be the first big game of the year?
Definitely.
Now let's remember
just because it's in the swamp.
Now everybody's all high on Tennessee, and they got their quarterback, and he's smoking it all over the field, and that's fine. Everybody can think what they want to.
But they did lose some good receivers.
Burge, 4-8 for the Gators.
He said 5-7, like we did. 4-8, 5-7.
Okay. He don't think Florida can score enough to beat them. Tennessee needs to be as sharp due to the humidity at the swamp. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying they don't have all those pieces back. Now they moved their offensive quarterback coach up to offensive coordinator at Tennessee.
Right. They'll be better on defense.
And let me make sure I read this right. I'm pretty sure I said
you're basically saying Tennessee's not going to be as good as they were last year.
Yeah, and that team there, no changes.
Right.
Does that mean anything?
Yeah, it could. I mean, they could pull that.
I mean, they got all their coaches back.
Yeah.
They only got 5 coming
familiarity.
Back on defense. They got 6 on offense.
That's not a lot of starters coming back, though.
But guys, we have so many quarterbacks new to the SEC, all over the place, except Daniels.
You don't want to hear how many starters you bringing back. 11. That's not good. You want to hear 15, 16.
Yeah, out of 22.
14.
Remind you that.
Yeah. 11. That's not good.
Is there a chance?
I don't think so. I mean, yes, a small chance. We could fall out on the floor if they do. But
when you hear this old sound, cue up. I love that music.
Mm-hmm.
Don't that music make you think of it's Saturday morning? You know, I worked hard yesterday and I got up, got to sleep in a little bit, get up about 9.
Yeah.
Go cook your pig pan, a hamburger helper, and your buddies is coming over. I lived over in a trailer, you know.
Yeah. It's good days. I love Saturdays during college football.
That music, man.
Yeah.
And this is the 96 game we're listening to.
CBS.
I don't know, but I'm just saying, is there an awful chance? Is there an awful chance that this team that we're looking at here, we're looking at this is a 96 game, that rival can be back this year in week 3, right there on the schedule. Mark this game on your calendar, September the 16th, and there's not going to be a whole bunch of other games on that week because Bama and Texas play the week before. So right there, at the swamp, it's going to be going nuts. It's going to be loud. You're going to have some new coaches, the quarterbacks, and Tennessee, Coach Heupel. Tennessee is reeling right now. They're coming off a high from last season, beating Alabama the first time in forever.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be as good. I think they'll win 8 or 9. 9-3s, which we'll get into Tennessee later.
Look how young he was there. Oh, Gary.
Yeah, I know.
Now, this is 27
I bet that people
years ago.
was complaining then, wasn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, Gary.
Let's see,
I don't know.
Tennessee leads the series 19-17. Florida 6-5 at home versus Vols. Team with the most rushing yards has won 15 in the last. I don't know if that's going to be the case anymore.
No. Say that was in 96.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a possibility, but not likely. But with it being in the swamp, it being early in the year, I could see it, but I'm not going to pick it.
I don't know, guys. I've seen crazier things happen.
I'm not going to pick it.
Crazy things have happened.
But even if that happens, 6-6 still.
I think we've covered about everything we can do today.